Hi, my name's Mark Schaefer, and I'm going to explain the ARGOtext smartwatch keyboard and why we think it makes the net-connected watch truly functional. We're going to divide this up into three topics. The first is the keyboard. We'll explain how it functions, why it's fast and easy beyond expectations. We'll talk about the value proposition, why typing text is essential for smartwatch independence, and then we'll talk about why we think the return on investment will be extremely large because it solves a major use case problem in a hyper expanding market. Let's talk about the keyboard first, the topic one. The keyboard is fast and easy beyond expectations. Basically, it's because we're typing with three fingers. That makes it faster than one finger method, and it's on large finger-sized keys, actually about the size, maybe a little larger, that you'll see on a phone. So let's start the 30-second lesson. Touch sensors, similar to what's on your touchpads or on your phone, are on the side housing of the watch or in the strap. There's actually 4 planes of touch sensors, and they correspond with the 4 planes on a regular QWERTY keyboard. And let's talk about how to type. Each of the letters on the keyboard are grouped in groups of 3, so you touch near a group of 3 and you slide towards the letter you want to type. So you slide towards the T if you want to type a T. You would touch and slide towards the U if you want to touch a U. And for the middle letter Y, what you're going to do is just slide up the middle towards the screen, and the lesson is over. I'm going to review it. You touch a group of 3 letters, slide towards the letter you want to type, left towards the left letter, right towards the right letter, and up the middle towards the screen for the middle letter. And that's basically a review of the lesson. Now we're going to do some demos. The first demo you're going to see is on the prototype. I had just gotten it back. I'm typing "we did it." That's our phrase. We love it because we can type with adult-sized fingers on a small smartwatch, a wearable device. And then you'll see me type ARGOtext for the first time. That was pretty exciting for me the day we got the prototype back. Next is me typing on a model. And the reason that's important, it's the quick brown fox and it's every letter. But if you look at the letters, they're popping up relatively fast. If you look at the hand on this 3D model, it's moving relatively slowly. And that's the advantage of the 3-finger typing. So you got quite a product there. The essential product is you could put it on a strap, you can put it on the side housing, and you can put it on almost any shape or style of watch. And that's important because it's extremely versatile. Almost any style of watch, or specifically the straps, you can make it work. User advantages. So what you saw was fast typing. Takes about 30 seconds to learn, and it takes about 60 repetitions to get fast, and that's an important number. It's not a lot because the goal is so valuable. It's accurate because you have tactile keys that are relatively large, natural hand position. The view of the screen is unobstructed, and that's kind of important on a small screen. Your fingers are on the side. We have touch pads on the side, so we have a cursor. That's important for watch control. You can use it to hit these tiny icons for the different programs. You have touch sensors on the side, multiple character screens. That's important because you can do the number screens and the character screens like you do on your regular phone keyboard. Saves battery because you're not talking, you're typing, and you're sending messages. Of course, it fits on a watch. Manufacturer advantages. So you have proven technology. It's touch sensors. There's no new science involved. Low cost touch sensors again. Adaptable design we talked about. Expanding the use case I'm going to talk about later with the value proposition. The competitive advantage, of course, if you can type on a watch, you've expanded the use case over your competitors. Global markets are interesting because you can type any language using an ARGOtext system. You basically just change the software, and of course it fits on a watch or on a strap. We did it. We actually got adult hands to type on a small wearable device. Let's talk about the value proposition. We think typing text is essential for independent watches. Nobody's going to want to leave their phones home if they don't have the keyboard. Let's talk about it. Users expect to type when they're doing all these functions, and they're going to always be net connected, whether it's to their friends, their businesses, or their mothers. Okay, voice recognition needs a backup. We don't think of voice recognition as competition for a keyboard. They actually pair together. There are times, because of noise, mistranslation, you don't want to use voice recognition. It happens to drain the battery more, but more important, the privacy issue will never be solved. That's why you see groups of people, they're texting with their fingers. They're not always talking when they're in groups because they don't want to annoy the people next to them. When do we choose particular platforms to type? Well, we'll use our laptops if we're going to type a long report. We'll type on our phone if it's 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences. If we're mobile, we're not near it. We're not going to want to type on a watch the way it's presently configured. But look what happens when you have an ARGOtext watch. You really can type maybe 5 characters per second, maybe faster, just about in the range of the phone, the way we type today. So there's a really good chance when we have to give a choice to a consumer, do you want to use your watch or your phone? Now they have a viable option. I think I'll use the watch with ARGOtext because I can type on it. People are not going to want to leave their phones home if they have an old fashioned, can we call it that? Maybe not. If they have a watch without a viable, efficient keyboard, look how many hours we're asking consumers to leave their phone keyboard home, either because they're out dancing without a pocketbook, they're in their tight pants. An afternoon at the beach is 3 or 4 hours, weekend hiking. In all of these cases, consumers will not leave their phone keyboard home unless they have ARGOtext on their watches. Verticals or other opportunities. A hospital, you can't speak out loud, a place where you want to be hypermobile. If you read down that list, it's all things that you're going to want. Hypermobility, and you're going to want to text input manually, and also the Internet of Things. We have a hypermobile keyboard for any purpose that we want to type into the Internet of Things. Devices are another opportunities. Game controllers. You have shooter games, maybe you want to use a game controller where you type more the fantasy games where input of words becomes more important. TV remote controls, we know how burdensome it is to type in a movie name with that hunt and peck system. Cameras, you're taking 100 pictures at once. You might want to label them to keep them straight before you get home. And those are all reasons. I love jewelry. You can have a necklace you can type on. I don't know why you would want one, but some people are going to find a use for it. So there you go. Topic 3, and we're just going to do this briefly. I think there's a huge return on investment because it solves a use case problem that is major in a hyper expanding market. I think electronics firms and watch firms really need these watches, these smartwatches, to work and be the next market. It's not saturated, it's new and expanding. So it's very important these watches become functional, and there is a use case problem with smart watches, and certainly the independent watch is meant to cure it. And I don't think you can have an independent watch without a keyboard. So half of all watches by 2017 are going to go direct to the net. So it's going to be a huge market. We know that the average millennial exchanges 67 text messages per day. They're going to want to type. Huge market. By 2020, at least 40% of people will primarily interact using text. Again, huge market solving a huge problem. 4 billion people, 2/3 of the world's population, already have text messaging. 8.3 trillion text messages are sent yearly. We're not going to have an independent watch that's truly a breakout product unless we can text on that. So let's review. The keyboard is fast and easy. It was learned in 30 seconds. It's got a proficiency curve of about 60 repetitions. The value proposition: typing text is essential. Nobody's going to want an independent watch if you can't type on it. Huge return on investment. No new science here. We've got touch sensors in a special, unique, patented arrangement, and it's solving a huge, major use case problem in a hyper-expanding market. So my name is Mark Schaefer. I'm the founder and CEO of ARGOtext. We think it makes the connected watch truly functional. For that reason, you're going to want to license it from us. We have 2 US patents approved. We have applications in 6 countries throughout the world. Please contact us, mark@argotext.com, or call 201-207-8696. Thank you for listening.